and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Richard, she doesn't have a computer. Do you have an extra copy of your letter?
I'm going to share yours.
Here we got you. We got you a paper copy.
And I'm going to be leaving it upstairs for finance, leaving my computer, my iPod.
It won't do us any good because we only have two people then.
Well, we're going to make
And plus,
improvise.
I can't, I'm handing mine in.
Oh, okay. Did you ever collect it?
I'm going to bring it in. I never opened it.
Page 3 of your, what I just gave you. Oh, it's page 3 on mine. Hopefully it's page 3 on yours. Right there.
Yeah.
Take a minute and read that. You weren't here last week, so you missed some of
Well,
this.
could you summarize it?
Mr. Umel, who's here today, owns a piece of property up on Fulmer Road. Do you have the pictures?
They're on here.
Oh, they're on here?
Yep.
Oh, then you come on over here, slide over.
I got the actuals if you want the actuals.
Why don't you bring the actuals up, Richard?
Oh, you can blow this right up.
And Richard came to us last week with some concerns over the equipment that's been left on the site as illegal in the zone it's in. Richard, I forget how long our contention is it's there.
This is off Fulmer Road, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long has it been like this?
Yeah.
My first letter went out October of 2009.
Okay, so since 2009, we've been doing this.
Excuse me,
No, it's
2010.
gone, I think Charlie and Matt was doing it too.
Oh, so back to Charlie,
Yeah.
which takes us back to forever.
You had a file on him before, am I right?
I didn't find it, but,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I did remember this discussion.
Richard came into us last week. We sent him to town council. Town council sent the letter you're holding.
Okay. And these are the
And photos. And here's.
Yeah, I think I've seen some,
I'll get it up that big, but.
right, I saw that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh, you were here?
Yeah.
I've been- oh, okay.
Couple weeks, whenever, yeah.
I was
first
thinking.
came up.
Okay. So that's why we're here.
Okay, gotcha.
Mr. Umel, you asked for time to address us on the issue.
Yes, Mr. Wimet, and I had met him on previous occasions, and he told me to keep whatever I had hidden, that it was fine with him. And now, otherwise he would have been back again. The first time I realized everybody was serious about this was 2 years ago, and I started getting rid of the old tin pile I had, light iron pile I had in the backyard 2 years ago, and last year I talked to the building inspector and he said he wanted the automobiles out of there, so I started taking the automobiles out. We got almost completed and the snow caught up to me. Now this year I wanted to start on the heavier trucks and get them out of there. I didn't have the resources last year to be moving the heavier stuff, but this year I do. I took a job just to support this place. And I have resources to be able to finish the job. And we both, I'm on the same page as everybody in the town that they want to clean the place up, which I want to clean it up too. I'm doing the best I can to try and find a home for the couple of pieces that I want to keep myself. The rest of it that he mentioned is rusting away, will be going to the scrapyard. But I've got to have a little time to do it. I've get done with my job in the middle of May, and I'll have until the 1st of September to work on the place, which should be giving me plenty of time to complete the project.
So are you saying that there are no light motor vehicles on the property now?
There's, I think there's 2 cars on there now that can be taken off, but I've got to cut some trees down to get to them.
How many large pieces are we talking?
Probably 10 or 12.
And they're going to the scrapyard.
Some are going to the scrapyard, but there's a couple of bigger ones I have, I'll try to ship off somewhere else.
Well, understanding that, that you want to keep some, but the vast majority of them are scrap, is what I guess I'm asking.
No, the vast majority of them are not scrap.
Oh, they're not scrap.
Probably less than half are scrap, but I mean, they'll be going to the scrapyard, and if I have to, if I'm not, it's not like picking up a piece of paper and bringing it out to your trash, I mean, you've got something that weighs 50 tons, you gotta figure out how you're gonna move it. You gotta get it started, you gotta,
Well, none of the scrappers will come pick it up and take it away for the price of the scrap?
I've called, all the scrappers have different rules, and you gotta try to meet their requirements. I've called, people up all as far as ways to Haven, so I'm in the ballpark as far as trying to get the stuff moved.
So,
But it takes time to move it, no matter who moves it, and, if I get the time and am not prosecuted until September 1st, then we'll probably meet all your needs.
so you're saying that by September 1st, do you think you will have everything removed as required?
Right.
You have the resources and the funds and the wherewithal to really actually have it cleaned up?
Mike, Glenn. Rich, you've been out there numerous times, I've been out there numerous times. I know your efforts have been there. And you have any recommendations?
You sent me to legal, I went to legal.
Correct, I understand. I'm just asking you, you were supposed to meet with him and arrange for this cleanup.
This is your decision, so,
It's not our decision. We're not the enforcement agent. You are.
like I said, this is why we sent it to legal, see what they said, and they says.
Okay, but how did, and the deadline is April 5th, which is this week. Who determined that?
Compliment page.
Okay. So is there flexibility with that date as a zoning enforcement officer? I mean, I would think you know your job just as much as he knows your job.
Yeah, like I say,
Okay.
I give him flexibility.
I mean, I want recommendations from you if you think this is feasible, one way or the other.
I think it's great if he does it.
My question first,
I've been promised for 3.5 years now that he's gonna do it. Nothing's moved. Nothing's moved.
what's there now? I mean, we got the big,
That whole picture is everything that's out there.
how old are these,
Almost everything that's out there.
how old are these pictures?
A year and a half old, but nothing's moved since then.
Well, he tells us that the cars are gone. Are the cars gone?
I haven't seen anything moved. We've got three neighbors complaining right now.
The cars have been moved because I got slips in the junkyard where I brought them to, so there has been cars moved.
Yeah, but not all of them.
Not all of them, no.
Okay.
Pulled my shoulder out and I couldn't do any more, and then when I started back again, the snow caught up to me, and I
Well-
don't want to die out there doing this stuff.
I understand it, but in the meantime, as a highway superintendent, I've talked to you about this numerous times, the complaints I'm getting, and I've been referring them back to Charlie Womat and Rich Alexak as a building inspector and enforcement agent for, geez, when you bought that from Herman Andrews, 20 years ago?
Well,
And then you don't have any licenses to store that stuff there. You're in a residential area. Let me just finish talking. You knew this was coming. And, yes, you got sick, and we're sympathetic to that.
Right.
But now we need to resolve this thing.
so,
You're asking till September
yes.
because you want to pick and choose what you move.
No, I want to get rid of it, but I've got to have some time to get in there and get it out. I'm working now to try to pay my taxes. Once I get done with the job, I'll have time to do it.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with you about there's nobody that can move this stuff. We get junk cars and we get junk trucks, the highway department. We've called up R&R in Springfield, they come down, they give us a value, we'll call up another one to make sure the value's in sync, and then we would get rid of them as scrap. We can only get rid of them as scrap.
Right.
You're trying to market them, I think, for parts, and
I'm not marketing from parts, I'm just trying to...
we're not here to be in business with you. We need the place
I'm not
cleaned
trying to
up.
make no business deal, I'm just trying to get out of Dodge with my hair, that's all I'm trying to do.
Is there a residence on the property?
I'm happy to leave.
There's no-
Corey is next door, very close to the property.
But there's no residence on here?
No.
So what we got are cars, if the pictures show heavy vehicles, What else is there, Rich, that needs to,
Trailers,
storage trailers, all those ones that are in the woods? Which, when anybody hooks onto them, are just gonna fall apart from the looks of the picture.
There's also some millings that are dropped there, which, that is
Well,
not,
maybe-
they should be removed. I know you probably had a use for the millings,
I haven't
but the
done
point is,
proper
they've been stockpiled there, and those are classified as hazardous material.
Well, I'm gonna move them. I understand that's one of the problems that we have, and I'll move them. I got a truck to move them with, I'm set to go. All I gotta do is get the time.
Well, would it be possible to set out a plan, like a weekly, this is what's going to be done by this date, and all these interim dates, so that we know how close you're reaching the
Well,
goal?
I can deal with the building inspector so that and we can discuss what he wants moved first or what he doesn't want to move first, so that we know that something's moving, and then we both
We
see
get
it move.
interim updates, I mean,
Sure, I mean, the thing seemed like the thing to do would be to move the stuff that's closest to the property lines out first, so that people, the neighbors.
No, he's gotta get at them. There's no sense going to the back of the pile when the stuff's in front of him.
No, that's true too, if that's at the back of the pile.
I'd like to make a motion that Mr. Umel be given until the end of August, and that we get monthly progress reports from the building inspector, and when we deem it that it is not working out, we bring you back in here, and then we institute this letter.
All right, end of August is fine.
If Rich can you abide by that, Rich?
Are we saying totally done by the end of August?
Yes.
Complete?
Yes,
All the stuff?
yes.
100%?
He's got 4 months.
Legally, what can he store on that property?
The wood.
basically nothing, because that's all construction equipment. You can't
He's got a lot of
have-
he has a lot of piles of wood out there, which I don't think is a problem.
Wood can stay.
But I mean, he's entitled to what, one
Unregistered vehicle.
unregistered vehicle. So by the end of August, we're talking about one unregistered vehicle left on that property.
Right.
And that means all the trailers are gone, I mean, I'm looking at a crane of some sort there.
There's a crane there. There's several of them.
I'm looking at an army truck that looks like it saw service in World War I.
Thing after my heart, it just looked,
That one I can see, someone trying to salvage
You ever
it.
drive a deuce and a half up a hill in Korea?
Yeah, it's a deuce and a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
I drove those trucks in Korea.
I made a joke about it being that old, but it's not,
They're not a very nice looking truck, but they do,
They hold up.
do go, yeah.
so did that, you used to drive that around?
I drove a truck similar to that in Korea.
Korea.
Yeah, somebody had to.
What's this?
The Westinghouse truck, oh, it's a welder.
Oh, Westinghouse welder.
welder.
Yeah, that's hidden in the woods. You have to really walk and get to that.
There's a lot of railroad
B
equipment.
and B market,
Please?
a B and B market
Truck.
truck.
Yeah. Well, what?
Are you like a truck collector?
Well,
a hobby?
I grew up with a father who always had a truck, and I always liked trucks. So when I had a chance to buy a truck that I liked, I bought it.
Look at this, what's this? This is a semi.
Front clip missing.
What's that? That's,
That's I used that for storage. It's an old ice cream truck.
well, your work's cut out for you to get these kinds of things moving.
Well, I had those kind of things, and I had the ability to move them, so.
Why don't we, what about amending that he and Rich have a conference to come up with a plan, lay out a schedule,
That's fine.
and if they can't come to an agreement, then they come back, Rich tells us and come back.
But I would like to have some timeframes that we will be on
Yeah.
board with.
Well, no.
And not
Right.
blindsided
But-
come August 1st.
Like monthly reports, that would be
Well,
good.
that's what I'm saying, have Richard, by X date, this is gonna be gone, by Y date, this is gonna be gone. And if it's not gone, before we get to the end of October, we call, or August, we come back and straighten this out.
No, we would implement the letter.
Right, well,
Does that seem like a fair resolution?
Well, I think that in the next month, I should have everything rolling to start doing this, and I know where I want to head for, so that,
well, now you're making it awfully tempting to say by the end of April or May, we have this all done.
No,
If
no,
you're-
no, I'm not saying I'm gonna have it all done, I'm saying that
Well,
I'm
you're
gonna
getting
have the
rolled.
ability to move stuff.
Right, okay.
Right now, in the middle of, I don't get out of school till the middle of May, so.
I thought you said you
Stop
were
there.
working. I thought you
I'm
said,
working. I didn't have the resources last year. If I need somebody extra, if I gotta call Red Stone or someone else to come in, I can call them now, where before I could not do that.
You can't drive any of them all.
No, they have to be roadworthy.
I'm just
Take a
checking.
look. The one that's
They didn't look
standing,
like they're drivable, but I don't know trucks.
the one that's standing upended on the boxcar. There's a motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Who's gonna take care of notifying Compliment and Page not to go forward with the lawsuit? Okay.
And do we need to have this in writing somewhere, like a plan?
I think,
Monthly?
Rich can get it together when he's talking with him.
I think come up with a plan and give a copy of your plan to Reggie. And then monthly, did we say monthly?
I would send the monthly reports also to Compliment and Page, so you can see there's a history here.
But monthly reports to us about the status of the property. And if we hit an impasse where nothing's moving, then we want to be, before the month is out, let us
Well,
know.
we'll probably be moving before the middle of May.
With an August 30th deadline?
Completion date. Completion means completion, not substantial completion, completion. Thank you, Mr.
Well, if we have any difficulties, I'll get back to you as fast as I can.
You get back to Rich.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Yuma.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are we in executive session for the worker?
That's been canceled.
That's been canceled.
Okay.
We got a call late this afternoon.
Who called for that?
Charlie.
We should tell the other people in this committee. Okay. Was this a signature thing
No, just to inform us.
from Seal?
No.
Okay.
Want me to read the payroll warrants?
Well, do we have any minutes, first of all?
No.
Okay, then you can read the payroll warrant.
Okay, we have a payroll warrant P13-39 for $234,610.56.
Well, we can't do anything with it anyway.
No, you guys can sign it.
Sign it, but we can't move it, we can't do anything with it.
Oh, because you can't vote.
I can't vote.
So we can sign it.
Not for a few more months.
So you can sign that. And we have a bill warrant, you must have stuff on too, right?
You,
Good.
and you got,
I can't.
I can't sign the bill
Is
warrant.
it payroll warrant this week?
first was payroll, this is the bill.
It's a bill warrant this
Oh, it's
week,
a-
so
it's-
I've put everything all together because nothing was signed.
Oh, okay.
So would a bill warrant be,
He
conflictual?
has bills too.
Yeah, I'm on both of those.
okay, so, but we can still sign the bill
Yes.
warrant?
Yes, we need
So
to
we have a
sign
bill
it.
warrant for W13-40 for the total amount of $164,408.61.
All we can do is sign it.
Okay, and then we have another W13-38 for $380,903.65.
Isn't that the one from last week, that thing?
That's last week, last meeting.
Last meeting, no one ever came in to sign it?
Also, what's this, should I read this out loud?
What's that?
Also, per orders, we have not been doing this. What is this?
I don't know.
This is something new from the auditors, where we should have been reviewing and signing the withholdings and the deductions for the insurance. So you have two more
So it'll be a
items.
separate warrant?
Yes.
Okay.
So the PD stands for, is that just,
I don't know.
I think that's Donna's coding, I'm not sure.
so this is
Well,
withholding.
I'm sure we'll
the
see that in our
deduction.
management letter.
I'm meeting with the auditors. They called, they wanted a meeting with us on April,
18th or 19th, I don't know what
Okay.
date you said.
All right.
Okay, so we have,
Is that a regular Tuesday or is that a different day?
That meeting is, it's not the manager's meeting, that was
No.
different. Sorry, Ann, I didn't mean
Okay.
to cut you off.
they wanted to meet with, they called me and wanted to meet with Reggie and I on a particular issue.
Okay.
so this is PD 13-39 for $40,000, $40,087.77. And then another PD 13-39A for $139,602.45.
So you and
We
I
can't
have to-
sign, right?
You and I have to sign all these.
Right. But we'll need a third
Yes,
somewhere.
somewhere along the line. I bet you gotta sign these in here. Is this one loose on top?
Is there something underneath? What's that?
Yes, there's two signatures.
so don't mix them up. Would you send out an email to the other 2 select board members to tell them they've got to come in and sign?
Is Jackie sick today?
Jackie's sick, yeah. She was sick when I saw her on, I forget when I ran into her or saw her.
School bills.
That's
They're
just,
for review.
yeah, it just goes to back up one of their warrants. That one needs a signature there? Oh, that's, so you can add your 3rd signature there. Right?
This is from last week.
Yeah, so that'll get that one taken care of.
Payroll warrant.
That just goes with, what is that?
Nothing to sign.
No, that's the backup for there last week. Oh, wait a minute, you're not done.
Was assessed.
I was the only one on that one.
That was last week's?
From last meeting. There we go.
We're gonna take up the veterans agent?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Were you here for those interviews, the veterans agent?
Yes,
Okay. We need to,
that was the week before last.
yeah, it was over 2 weeks, I think.
I was here when we interviewed him.
Okay.
I think it was last week, toward the end, before we went to executive session, we talked about him.
Yes, we did. And you said, we said we couldn't do the appointment until we,
Had a quorum.
on one open meeting,
Yep.
so. Who wants to proceed?
Well, I made a recommendation.
Can we review them real quickly?
ahead.
Because I kind of have them in my,
Do you have them? Where are they?
You go back to my Dropbox, sorry, Ann.
Oh,
And you go into the March folder.
Which March?
It's just the March folder. It'll say March 26th
Yep.
agenda.
Yep.
I believe I scanned everything there. So you should have all the,
The 26th?
yes, you should have all the applicants, I believe.
starting on page,
Here, page 24. This is the guy that's serving now.
that came in and we have,
No, this is, that was the other one. This is, oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's just his temporary appointment. Sorry about that. Those are just temporary appointments.
Starts on 58 with the job description. And then it starts with the first person on page 61.
was that the first, okay. Michael. Okay. Is this, do you remember the order that we interviewed them?
No.
Michael Zemansky.
I think I scanned the order.
That the order they came in, I'm not positive of that, but
I believe so.
Okay, so I kind of, I remember that interview.
I know that Michael was, he was on the second night.
I think I can see this one.
Yeah, he was, because he works at UMass.
the only man went the other way.
Right. Oh,
61, I hit the wrong part of it.
and who's the fellow that you all seem to be familiar with?
Oh, mine was the very last one, Paquette.
Plaquette.
Paquette, okay,
He was in Southampton.
right.
So you got Zemansky.
So I thought, I mean, as I recall in that interview, I thought he was very promising.
Mr. Plaquette, he was the man we waited for from
Right,
Iraq,
right.
or somewhere Middle East.
Kuwait, I think.
Kuwait.
Kuwait.
So then we have, that's Mr. Zemansky still. And then we have Paul Neville.
On page 56, it'll tell you the order that they were interviewed.
You want me to go back or you want?
No, I think I was favorably impressed by the last, by
Last
Paquette,
one.
which was the one that
Right.
just come in and
Yep.
currently serving, and remember, we were talking about
Yeah.
his balancing
Yep.
everything, but he felt he could, and
He works a third shift, I think. an
Yes, he works as a supervisor.
overnight shift as supervisor.
You seem very passionate and interested in it.
All right, does anyone, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'd take a motion.
Take a motion to appoint Gerald Paquette, is that how you say it,
Yeah. As Veterans Agent?
as a veteran agent.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
And you prepared,
Yes, the letters for the others. And this is sorry, and the appointment is until May 2014, and then he'll come due, every year we do the reappointment.
okay.
What would his start date be? Do you have a recommendation? Do you have a recommendation for his starting date?
Whatever year I'm beginning.
Well, I think we should give him like 2 weeks to finish up.
Yeah, we should, so let's see, why don't we pick May 1st?
Okay, that's fine.
Pick May 1st, that's more than enough time.
Okay.
And we should, I suppose we should contact Mr. Paquette and make sure he's still willing to accept the position. I believe he is, but,
And I'd like to send a letter to Mr. Henning, thanking him for his service.
okay. You'll do a letter, Reggie?
Yeah.
Okay. So, are we the department head for the Veterans Agent?
Mhm.
Okay, so I have to. Now I gotta go back.
One-day alcohol permit, is that what we're on?
That one is not ready yet. The person had not submitted the application. I keep that on the agenda so that we
Oh, I
don't
see,
lose.
I see that, yeah. Okay.
Let me talk about the 911 grant. The 911 grant, the chief contacted me Wednesday, I think, right, Reggie?
Yes.
And needed a signature in order so that we could be reimbursed for the training of the 911 dispatchers in the new medical, they have an elevated certification they need now. The state had it, oh, there, thanks. There was a grant that had to be done right away. And it's to get, reimburse us $18,000 in funds for training that we did, overtime that we incurred, having them get the additional certification. It had to go in right away. The chief called me, didn't have time to do a meeting. I authorized the signature of the grant, and I submitted to you tonight for
Post-approval.
ratification.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I just wanted to keep you informed of what happened.
Your workings.
Well, it was just, we didn't want to walk away from
No,
$18,000.
that's good.
We were not supposed, well, so now we don't have to meet next week because we took care of this tonight. So we don't have a meeting next week. Your next meeting is the 16th. I will tell you that I had a call today from Bill O'Grady on the Brickyard Road, and they're going to go forward with the closing, and he was going to contact Katie Klein about the closing.
I think they worked everything out already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
I'm not sure.
between who? They worked it out with their buyer.
Oh, but I mean.
But them, no, they had not yet spoken. Your last meeting will be April 30th,
I wrote it down.
correct?
My birthday,
Yeah,
too.
April 30th.
Because the town election is May 2nd.
His election is the 6th, and then you reorganize on the 7th.
6th, and reorganize on the
So I'm
7th.
gonna come watch you reorganize.
Okay. Oh, we had that Safe Roads grant. that
Yeah,
came
I
in.
want to talk about that.
Okay. Safe Routes grant.
Well, it's called Massachusetts Safe Routes to School Infrastructure. It used to be Safe Road, Safe School Sidewalk Program, but they made it bigger. This particular program, Bill and Collins called me about 3 years ago, because this is a sidewalk program to enhance safety for the school children and bicycle tractor. Originally, the first contact was Diane, and Diane got a hold of me, and we met. From there were several field meetings with the engineering firm. I think it's TEC, I'm not positive. And the state engineers, the various wetland people, and everybody else that was involved. We walked the project. some of the criteria they asked for, and I'm just generalizing it, is our future projects on sidewalks. And we did have a future sidewalk, we do have a future project on Glendale Road, which is going to add just under a mile of new sidewalk. That's from Pomeroy Meadow to Route 10. So that improved the situation that it showed us that we were working in that direction. There is also a project that is going to start probably in a year or so on Mass Highway from Clark Street to East Street on the east side of the street to put a sidewalk in from Clark Street to East under a, what they call a TIP program. Okay? And those are two projects that are known projects. The third project that is a known, third project which is not as advanced as the Glendale Road area is East Street, which takes the sidewalk all the way up East Street. And I believe
Where to where?
From Route 10 up to County Road at this time.
To County Road, and on both sides or just one side?
One side.
And
One
is it-
side, there is going to be...
Which side is it? Is it the side of the old,
It's going to be your side of the street.
The shovel.
it's the other side?
No, it's your side.
It's your side of the street. Otherwise...
I'm on
we-
East Street, I'm on...
But it's on the north side of East Street, okay? There is some improvements to sidewalks that are existing in front of the police department right now, and some enhancements for handicap accessibility to cross the road. Those three known projects gave us some consideration for this grant. This grant is not actually done yet. It's a very preliminary grant, but we've made the first and second cut, which is very likely that they'll finish it. Now, what they're going to add under this particular program is a new sidewalk from basically Park Place, where Cumberland Farms is, and the housing for the elderly is, and two condos, carrying it down south on Route 10 to the intersection of Route 10 and Pomeroy Meadow. What else is involved with this project? It's about a $560,000 project. Is they're going to widen the road at least 3 or 4 feet to accommodate bicycles, because bicycles are not supposed to be on sidewalks. So they're going to put a bicycle lane in from that point down to Pomeroy Meadow. And Pomeroy Meadow actually is a little wider than Route 10 pavement-wise. Ownership-wise, it's only 50 feet what we own in Pomeroy Meadow versus the highway is 75 feet. Okay. They've made some suggestions in this program that the town take the initiative and mark out some additional sidewalks in the future, such as the sidewalk from High Street in front of the cemetery going north on Route 10 to Pomeroy Meadow to continue that loop. So that would loop everything from Conant Park all the way up to that, and then probably in the next 3 or 4 years. There are some recommendations that we take upon ourselves if we have money, and that is to highlight some crosswalks at 3 or 4 intersections. And also, it's not noted there, but I did talk to them that we as a town would probably entertain in the future putting a sidewalk in front of the cemetery as our not liability, but our goals. Not necessarily contingent to this program, but it's part of our goals. And also, if we can make it part of our goals, is to extend the sidewalk down from Park Place on Route 10 going north to Gun Road, and maybe even further down to down to Glendale Road and Hillside. But those are up to us to do. when we
So
have
the town
means to
having
do
these
it.
projects, it puts us in a good,
The
better
three-
position to get that funding.
That's correct.
Basically.
Yeah, the two projects that are in the works are, there's three projects. One, a state project, which is a TIP fund for Route 10, and two town projects, which is TIP money, which is federal aid money, on East Street and Glendale Road. Those two projects together are about maybe $11 million.
Remind me what TIP is?
TIP is Transportation Improvement Projects,
Transportation.
okay? And that's 90% federal aid, 10% state aid. And we are responsible for the design, okay? We as a town.
It'd be great when these projects get off the,
But my recommendation is, I've gone through this, and my recommendation on this is that I drafted a letter that we send out In it, they outlined that, number one, the number of criteria was, are we going to keep the Norris School open for the near future? And I wrote back to them, there are no known plans to close or relocate the school. In fact, the town of Southampton voted to extend $1.75 million for replacement of the roof at the Norris School during a March 18, 2013 town meeting. So that took care of the big part of it. Items 2 through 6 are standard things that we usually do at the highway department to enhance our projects, because the first, number 2 is the town will review and the final design plans and provide comments to the Safe Road Transportation team when it's here, okay? And the third one is the town of Southampton will be happy to assist Mass DOT with coordinating a meeting space for the town to have a design hearing, which we've always done for our last 2 big projects and all our projects. So it means that we have to provide them a space. The state comes in and they have a hearing and take comments from everybody about this project when it gets to the 75%. The next thing is the town of Southampton will identify a mutual municipal liaison to meet with the adjacent property owners as necessary to discuss and coordinate the right-of-way process. A lot of the processes are donations or a temporary easement to come in during construction and eliminate it. I've done that on all the major projects since I've been here, and John Garcia did too. So it's something that we can do. It's not hard. It's time-consuming, but these are things that we can do to make this happen. The town will perform any legal or appraisal as required to support a town meeting approval taking process or association recognized at the registry of deeds. In other words, if somebody holds out, doesn't want to donate the property and we need it for the project, we have to appraise them and then probably take it by eminent domain if they're not cooperative, but they might want to be paid in cash. Those are options. There's like 4 options what we can do. Donation in place, payment in cash, which we have to do an appraisal on. And when we do it this way, it's not 1 appraisal, it's 3 appraisals. But we would group them together. We do that for all our projects. The last one is the town of Southampton will secure any required right-of-way, secure donated easements, and/or compensate adjacent property owners for easements that might be identified as easement plans when the project is completed.
And that letter is going to go into,
We'll go to William Palmer, I have it here, the Mass DOT Department of Transportation.
Who's in charge of the Safe Routes?
Safe Routes to School Infrastructure Program. And what I would do is have you sign it, and we CC all these individuals back here.
so Ed, in the Safe Routes program, who actually designs?
State will design it.
But do we,
We get to have our input along. The school and teachers have their input.
because it's about the kids walking from one safe place to the other, right?
Correct. Well, if you
So
take a look.
we know more about you, we
I
would
mean,
know
I've
more
been
about
here,
the town.
and I think you've entertained people coming in, walking around to Route 10 and wanting to be there, have sidewalks. And this way here, instead of, and it might even help us with some of our bus routes, might be able to eliminate, because we have sidewalks now to the school.
yes.
You know, and I think, you know, that's something the school has to look at. And I think that right now, it's currently a mile.
When I looked, how did I come up to have that?
I scanned it and
She
sent it to everybody.
scanned it in. Because when I looked at it, it also talked about taking, to eliminate a bus route connecting the apartments to the back of the school
Yeah.
through a
Well,
wall.
that was another option, but we would have to secure that land.
Oh, okay.
And it's easy enough to do. That was another thing that was part of it, that to build a sidewalk back there, but, which is something that can be done.
Because from the reading of that grant, they take a whole bus out of the apartments and bring it around to
Yep.
the school. So by connecting them, we eliminate one whole bus.
I remember 3 years ago when I was the liaison, we had this discussion about Safe Routes.
Yeah, this is the same program.
This is it, yeah.
All right, so we need a letter to,
I'd like to have a motion made to sign this letter and get it out, because I do think it's very important to get this letter in and show them that they have put efforts into the 3 years and we're serious about doing our part.
So moved.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we're all going to sign this.
Well, it's nice to
Reggie,
see
did you
this
get 10
moving
copies of
along.
these? Okay. You
Yeah.
might want to put them out there for the public when you get a chance, not all of
Clear
them at
place
once,
for us
too.
to sign
Well,
them.
I'll just sign one. Just put your signature there and we'll go across.
Underneath, across, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go across.
I do have a meeting upstairs, so it's 7:30.
All right, so at 7, let's see if there's anything else. Budget discussions, they're coming down with the budget next 2 weeks, right?
Not until the 16th.
16. And I spoke out of turn because there's the 178 Brickyard Road, job descriptions, screening.
Ed had made the changes to the job description, and I don't recall if I forwarded it to everybody or not.
No.
Did you get them?
I did get them.
I do have hard copies.
I think you did forward it, because I have that in my notes.
No, this would have been done today.
Oh,
No.
There was
I wasn't in the office in the afternoon.
It was just some corrections and
well, okay,
updates to
because I know you sent along
what
some job descriptions.
what Regina had, and here's a hard copy. I know she had a hard time putting this together, but I think now it was pretty good, but it needed to be tweaked.
So that's that. The screening committee was going to meet again and refine the recommendations, right?
We're meeting Wednesday. We were originally tentative to meet, we met last night, but we postponed the current Monday night meeting to Wednesday night.
So Ed, can you tell me the names of you're on it?
Myself,
Jackie.
Jackie, Dave Silvernail, Donna Whiteley, and John Martin is the chair.
And John Martin, the
Finance.
finance person.
Now, do you have to bring up, something we have to ratify that we did verbally, or is that all set?
Well, that was the charge to the thing that we,
To
to
reduce
reduce
the numbers.
reduce the number.
Okay.
The fire chief posting has gone back out again, Reggie,
Not yet.
but it will be.
It will be.
We have 12 applicants so far. We're hoping to draw in more with the new revised qualifications.
Is our current person also applying?
I believe so.
We haven't opened them, right? No, they're in this, yes, they're still in the select board office. Oh, that's what I was gonna say, with Mr. Unell's thing, can we send there's that gentleman who was complaining about it, Mr. Lawrence?
He was here tonight.
Oh, okay, can we just send him a letter saying that we've given him until end of July to clean it up? Give him
Into August.
August, why do I keep doing one day?
It's okay.
All right, if there's nothing else, open time for the public?
Gonna have an executive session tonight?
No,
You're not, it's a dead issue then, right?
not a dead issue. They decided to handle it some other way.
No, actually, the negotiating committee is going to meet on Thursday, but Charlie has asked again to meet with you guys in executive
Oh,
to discuss.
Around the railroad?
About the railroad.
but not, obviously not tonight,
No,
and not the 9th.
But this is
No.
for a conservation issue of the railroad, am I right?
no, this is the plans of what to do next. Now, the Pioneer Valley Railroad had declined that offer,
No, I know about
but I know
that, but,
Charlie's talking to me, but not talking to anybody else, so I'm
I know.
not sure.
and then, we're supposed to, I thought they were meeting last night, but that was the Friends last night, but they're gonna meet Wednesday, or Thursday night. And, the negotiating committee is the committee that report back to the board. I just don't know why he's doing other things. That's why I thought it might be some conservation issues,
No,
or
no
some restriction
conservation
issues.
You signed
I mean,
twice.
I've seen some emails with some new restrictions for conservation.
You signed once, but you need to sign 2.
From what I understand, according to Charlie, they're trying to figure out the next plan, what to do, what to offer.
Yeah, but that's our committee.
But that's
our
him
committee.
without-
That's our committee's
Correct.
task,
I know, and I believe Mr. Rancourt's asking that same question.
I mean, it's, if you want to go Thursday, that's an open meeting.
Well, how do you have an executive meeting on something we've talked about?
I don't know, I didn't call it. I didn't know anything about it.
That's what I was concerned about.
Well, we're not doing an executive session tonight, George.
Okay, no.
Was it 4 or 5 o'clock tonight? We got Charlie called.
Okay.
So, then they took it off the agenda, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the end of our agenda.
Correct.
I think I called open time for public, but anybody, that was you, George. All
Our
right,
public,
here, you have to go to a meeting at 7:30. Anything else, any other business before the meeting?
I give these to you, Randy?
I call it, I move that we close
Just
the
for
meeting.
Mike.
Close the meeting. All in favor?
Second, you need a second?
All in favor?
I second it.
Aye. Great.